Hi, my name is Jannie De Klerk. I'm Executive Director at UAE, Universal Air Evac, which is part of the National Airways Corporation group. I think the important thing about Med Evac that people don't always understand is it's really a flying ICU unit with doctors and paramedics on board. So you have a flying side of the business, which is really straightforward, normal flying that commercial pilots do. From point to point, where they collect patients and they bring them back to certain hospitals which are suitable according to what the requirement is at that given point in time. And then you have the medical side, which is the doctors that are sitting in the back that before they fly need a lot of information around the patient and what the condition is in order to make decisions with reference to what it is they need to do in flight to get the patient back to whatever country they're heading safely to go to a proper hospital at the end of the day. So there is a bit of a split. The one is medical related, the one is aviation related. We try not to combine the two too much, just because of the emotional side that's involved. So the pilots can do what they do best, and the medical people can really do what they do best. But that also does prove that you can have a career that if you have this love for looking after people and sort of, you don't want to become a doctor but you also want to help people, you can get into the Med Evac business and fly aeroplanes at the same time, help people. And the same for doctors that want to have a love for flying. They can actually practice what they do best, and at the same time they're flying all over the world collecting patients.
Wonderful. We're standing there's a very, very scary container here. Do you mind telling us about it?
Sure. So this is what is known as an isolation unit. These isolation units weren't very popular until recently with COVID. Before COVID they were more utilized for things like Ebola, when we moved Ebola patients, because obviously we need to isolate the patients so we don't spread certain diseases. And then during COVID it became very, very, very popular. And our airplanes all over the world, we have these kits that we fly along. So beforehand, if we knew that we were flying a COVID-specific patient and we don't want to spread the virus any further to our air crew, our doctors or anything like that, then typically the patient would be transported in something like this. So we actually load the patient in a system like this outside the aircraft, and then we load it into the airplane. And then the doctors, they have these certain points where they work through with gloves that they use on the patient, but that just protects everybody. It gives a little bit of distance between the actual patient and the doctors working on the patient.
What did you say would be the emotional aptitude of a person, or the emotional characteristic of a person who could work well in such an environment?
So one thing that we do, and we pay a lot of attention to, we do psychological evaluations on all the air crew, because obviously you work with a certain type of disaster. It's people that are in the field that are either very, very ill or people that have got hurt. And not everybody can always handle, it's like driving past a car accident with people spread all over a road. Some people can stop and look at it all day, other people just turn their heads away, they can't handle it. So you're looking for a very specific type person that doesn't get too emotionally attached, so they can still fly the aeroplane without thinking of what's going on in the back. It's a very specific type person. So we do a lot of research and things around that, and we do a lot of psychological evaluations to make sure that we're dealing with people whose mindset with regards to that is correct. Otherwise you have problems. If you get emotionally attached and you're thinking more about what's going on in the back than flying an aeroplane, then it can become a problem.
All right. So I guess math, science and English should be the sort of subjects one would need to focus on.
It would be, yes. But typically the guys that do this kind of flying are guys that don't necessarily come from an Air Force background. It's guys that are private pilot license, that literally have grown their career from flying little 172s, doing the PPL, to commercial license to ATP, where they eventually grow into the bigger and the faster type of planes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for
talking to us.
I hope this helps our little ones to see what else they can do in the field of aeromedicine.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.